So let's talk about climate change and Cairns.
I don't know. I think that it's something that people need to have more open discussion on. I think it's such a topical issue where people have an opinion straight away and they don't really necessarily want to discuss it because it's so, I don't know, touchy. Some people don't want to say that we're causing climate change. It's happening though.
Yeah.
People need to admit that, and then once that we've accepted that it's happening, we can start doing some action.
Well, I think even now, scientists are coming on board and saying, "Hey, this actually is a real thing."
Yeah.
They are agreeing.
Yes, it's been agreed.
Yeah, and we're not, hardcore greenies sitting here and hippies and all this sort of stuff, because that's the impression that the media has wanted to give to the rest of the world or the country or whatever, that anybody who protests or speaks up about these things that are going on are radicals. We're not. No. We're normal, average citizens who live here in the community, who want to create a wonderful place for our children to live in. And I've lived here in Cairns for 20 years. And basically, I loved it here because it was a bit wild. And it's different. And you live in amongst the wildlife in this amazing area that you don't get to see in so many places. I didn't come here to gamble and be at massive resorts and casinos that don't even fit in with the environment. I don't have an issue with that. Resorts are great. I love them. But we've got some gorgeous low-key ones here. Yeah. If I go to the casino, I only go to see the entertainment. I don't actually go and gamble. I don't have money to gamble. But, the thing is, I'm not against a resort being built at Yorkeys Knob. I'm against everyone jumping on and trying to make out that it's going to be the greatest thing ever. We're going to bring all this business in. No, you're not. You're going to build a 29-storey gigantic monstrosity in a suburb where families live. It's
going to change the values that we have as a community.
As a community. If we wanted high-rise, we would live in a city. So not a problem there. I don't have an issue with high-rise being in a city. That's what cities are for.
But
cities are great.
Put it in the urban areas.
Put in the urban areas. Don't come along and just, take over this whole thing. And we don't know what the truth is about all of it.
Yeah.
The thing is, people can be told anything and they'll believe anything. Yeah. So they need to be more informed and be aware.
And I think that's the biggest thing that's changed. I look at, when activism used to be a really common thing, when, women's rights were an issue, sending our 19-year-olds to war was an issue, and they were things that directly impacted people that day. So that day you could be sent to war, that day you could not get a job because you're a woman, and therefore the activism was really strong on it. Whereas most of the activism we're seeing these days is related to things for the future, for climate change. Yeah. And I think that people aren't as informed about things because they're not directly impacting you in that moment that someone says climate change, Whereas if you said to women's rights to some woman years ago, they would have been like, yes, I know exactly how that affects me. And so I think that people need to generate conversation around these topical issues and get involved in what's happening in the community. And I also think that we need to talk about the positives more, because so often we get caught up in the doom and gloom of things. We forget that there's actually been a lot of great things that have happened because of community action. So in Cairns we have the history of the Wet Tropics World Heritage Area. Yeah. That was 15 or 20 people getting together and saying, actually, this is a really important forest, this is a really important area that doesn't have this anywhere else in the world, and we need to protect it. And that took years, not months or a couple of years, to 4, I think it was 5 or 6 years to get through that whole process. So but it was because it took a while to build up that community awareness. But once you have the whole community moving on something, you can make a change. But I think a lot of the time the attitudes that are forming are from this disempowerment we see from the government, that helplessness the average person feels because of legislation or a lot of the doom and gloom. And we need to be positive, and we need to keep talking about how, encouraging each other and promoting the things that you can make a change. That needs to be happening more. So
I think a lot of people get so... They just look at it all and these problems seem insurmountable. They think... This is too big. This is too big. How am I going to do anything?
I still have those feelings, but I'm not going to stop trying.
No, every day I wake up and I go, Oh my God. Okay. Where do I start? But the thing is, you know, it's a right of every human being on this planet to speak up. Not just accept what your government tells you. Your government isn't there for you. They are not there for the average person. Neither are most of your councils. This is in every country in the world.
Because every single average person has a different opinion and a different viewpoint to the other average person that's sitting right next to them.
Yeah, but the thing is too, as you can see over the course of time, that the effects that things are actually happening while we've all been asleep and just asleep at the wheel. Because as you were saying before, when things directly impacted somebody, while there was the women's movement, all those things that were going on, there was a lot of massive loads of things happening 60s, 70s or whatever. And then all of a sudden it sort of kind of quietened down a fair bit in Australia. And Australia was a really great place to live and has been for a long time.
Yes.
And everybody went, oh, everything's really good now. Yeah. We can just relax.
Yeah.
Which everyone did.
And that was okay then. But
and that was okay.
Changed.
But the thing is, while everyone was asleep and having a nice little time and the slumber and all that, so much was happening under the table, behind the scenes, with our rights getting chipped away at, our constitution getting changed. People weren't even aware of what was going on, and now they're turning around and going, oh my God, this is not good, this is bad. So we're not free.
No.
We're not free.
No.
So the thing is, you need to be able to say, hang on, I don't accept this.
Yeah.
I don't accept this as gospel, what a developer tells me.
Or
What the government tells you, because the government or the media is totally controlled. So you have to look at alternative media.
Yeah.
You have to be able to make judgments yourself.
Yeah, I think
look at everything. Don't just accept what
anything
anyone says about anything, but you need to broaden your way of thinking and look at stuff.
Yeah.
Think about it. Companies are only there to make money, so of course they're going to tell you anything's good.
Yeah.
Big corporate business is only there to make money.
Yeah.
So, of course, they're going to tell you that this is great for you.
Yeah.
And it could be not too bad in the interim, as you were saying before, but building gigantic megastructures in this amazing, beautiful World Heritage listed place and right on the edge of the Great Barrier Reef, I'm sorry, but I'm not happy about it.
Yeah.
I don't want it there. Not saying that we can't have a lower key, but it's all about a casino
and
turning Cairns into the gambling capital of the
man-made capital,
world-class
man-made.
People come here because it's nature's theme park. They come here to see the reef, to go to the Daintree, to spend money in the town amongst the quirky little markets and the things that we have here.
Yeah.
If that's put there, and all the Chinese people are coming to gamble and whatever, then they're only getting told to go there.
Yeah.
It's not their fault. Not their fault. They'll be guided to there. They won't spend money in the rest of the community.
No. And I think that's something that's happening is people often say to me, well, if this isn't the answer, or whether it be the resort at Yorkeys Knob or another development, what is the answer to developing Cairns and providing economic stimulus, providing job growth? And I think that is a question that is so large that it needs to be addressed from a whole community perspective. That you can't just put a development somewhere and think that all of Cairns' problems are going to be solved.
Yeah.
It's just not reality.
And this is what they are trying to tell us. This
Yeah.
is what they're using as a thing. This will solve all our problems. I'm sorry, it won't. It might generate some interest or whatever to start with, maybe. But what's going to happen in 10, 20, 30 years' time when maybe even the Chinese market collapses?
So we need to be looking at a sustainable future.
Yeah, that's just not sustainable, because just coming and gambling?
And that's back to climate change as well, and a lot of things. You look at global food networks that are using a lot of energy in moving stuff around, where if it just remained, for example, a lot of food from Cairns is grown on the tablelands, taken to Brisbane and redistributed back to Cairns. And just like to create sustainable job growth, a sustainable economy, and sustainable future for Cairns, climatically, or in regards to other things, needs to be a really holistic approach. That we change the systems that are in place at the moment that are taking away a lot of human rights, that are looking at rapid you know, knee-jerk reactions. A lot of the reactions I see are, right, okay, what can we do to make somebody happy right now? But if you're going to create a sustainable project, you're not going to see the results for a year or so because it takes a while for that to happen. And so it's changing that mentality because we're such a reaction-based. We want to see this problem fixed now, and it's just not going to happen. If it's you can't fix things that way. To make a change for our
Instant
society.
gratification.
Yes,
People want
exactly.
everything now. And they go, if they don't see it now, oh, it's all too hard. It's all too hard.
Yes, and that's what we need to change. We need to change that attitude that it's all too hard, and that we need solutions now. We need solutions. We need to solutionize now. We need to start creating solutions now. But like, we're not going to fix climate change overnight. We're not going to change that overnight. We're not going to change the economic and job problems that Cairns has overnight. We need to start implementing small, different things that are wholesome, and they diversify economy, diversify job growth, diversify things so that we can, you know, create this not only sustainable climate, sustainable development, but a sustainable attitude to life, which I don't think is a lot of, like, you know, I've had people say to me, I don't care about the future because I'm not going to be in it.
Well, that's all well and good. That's great. But then again, you know, what about your children, your grandchildren?
What about me?
Yeah, and younger people, you know. I'm midway through my life, you know, but
you still got
a lot
half
ahead
of
of
it
me.
to go.
I have to go. And I have a daughter, and, you know, I want her to grow up in and have the things that I kind of had, in the sense of a really nice environment.
Yeah.
and being able to be part of something that is really nice, because we have been very fortunate in this country.
Yeah.
And we have everything here that we could possibly need. It's all here within it. You know,
We just have to make it,
utilize it the right way.
I have to go and get a trophy now.
A trophy?
Yeah.
Did you win something?
Yeah.
Oh, today?
I came second, yeah.
Oh, did you?
Rowing race.
Where do you go to get it? To the clubhouse?
Shangri-La. Shangri-La.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh, how nice.
Don't have
There you go.
awards time.
Thank you very much.
I've written a song and I've written a rap, and, you know, you can just kind of go like that.
There's hilltop hits
Hey,
in the background.
yeah, climate change. We're not deranged. This is real. This is it. Come on, everyone. Don't just sit. Get off your ass. Get
Give
moving.
Tony Abbott a